So who would like to start off what we know about the history of all we have here at the convent?
It's 8:30 a.m. and Joe Andrews, Community Development Manager at Emmaus Norfolk and Waveney, is holding the morning meeting. One item on today's agenda, a discussion with the companions about the history of the former convent where they live and work.
It used to be for the sisters, and they had they used to run it as with 30 odd or something sisters.
It used to be a hospital for poor and underprivileged girls who were struggling with themselves. It used to be a school as well.
Who would like to tell me what they might know about what we're doing in the refectory this morning?
About the refectory, converting it into a dining room would be a nice thing. Converting it, replastering the walls, making it sort of beautiful and opening the back window, double doors into the garden.
We'll have a new big dining hall where we can sit and enjoy each other's company over a nice meal, as well as invite the public in so they can see a bit more of what we do and try our food.
It'll be good job opportunities. It'll help people for when they actually leave here, help people with communication skills, and it'll help us for when it changes into a bed and breakfast.
The All Hallows community was founded in 1855, moving to Ditchingham 4 years later. The sisters ran what was called a house of mercy for vulnerable women, an orphanage and a school. And for 160 years it thrived. But by 2018 the number of sisters had dwindled, and those remaining left here to form a dispersed community. Today, the convent is home to Emmaus Norfolk and Waveney. And in the summer of 2023, the National Lottery Heritage Fund gave the go-ahead to a £250,000 refurbishment of the old refectory. The aim, to create a new restaurant for the public, run by the companions. In September, a Heritage Lottery Open Day at All Hallows proves incredibly popular.
We've all explored, the history of the Sisters of All Hallows spanning back nearly 160 years. And I know, we've all but still been saying today, we all feel quite emotional about it. Companions felt very emotional. The public felt emotional. People who came and had had something to do with this community, whether they came to school here or they were an orphan here, were emotional. And the companions have said, our residents have said, they had no idea, really what they were living, the buildings they were living in and the legacy here, and that they're part of that tapestry effectively that's, continuing, which is nice.
There are two more Heritage Open Days which also proved to be a big success. An Apple Day in the Orchard at Ditchingham, and a Victorian Christmas event enjoyed by young and old. By January, this footage from a drone over All Hallows shows the scaffolding at the refectory window is up. Painter and decorator Steve Higgins is busy stripping paint from the window, which is badly in need of repair.
We're just stripping everything back so that they can have a look and see what repairs need doing, what work needs to be done on it. And it's just been good. I've been here a week, stripping everything back.
Right then, gents, so...
The architect on the refectory project is Tim Bunn. He's worked at All Hallows for many years and knows just how special the history of this building is.
It's not raining, which is always positive.
Today he's on site with structural engineer Barry Burgess and main contractor David Willan. Much of their discussion is about the window.
Over the years it too has deteriorated, and as I can vouch for and you've seen today, the repairs that have been carried out were not the right ones at the right time or using the right materials, and that has accelerated the deterioration of the main refectory window. All the mullions will be replaced and a new sill which will be cut in to replace the concrete one on the outside.
Happily, there is some good news. The window is not as bad as Tim Bunn and his team first feared. So from your perspective now, relatively straightforward?
Yes, but I've learned over the years never to say it's straightforward because something always happens. so on that basis, there may be surprises along the way, but in principle, we know how we're going to do it.
The pace of building work picks up in February. David Willan, himself a carpenter joiner, is closely involved with the repairs on the window. How do you know it's going to fit?
I don't yet. I've got to try it in first and see how precise it is. So normally 2 or 3 little jiggle bouts and that's normally okay. Actually far off. Yep, it's there. Yep, it's good. We'll get that glued and screwed.
Emmaus Chief Executive Cecile Roberts wants to see a recent discovery in the refectory, a fire pit underneath the floorboards.
And it's intact?
It's intact, yeah, and it's been sort of cleaned out and made good as best we can, ready to put a glass lid on it. So this is what we've come across and what we've repaired so far.
Oh my goodness, what a feature.
It was an early heating system to help keep the sisters warm in winter.
What an unexpected addition to the refectory.
Yeah.
Because the novices would have fed this with coal and then that would have kept the sisters warm and anyone who was eating in here in the refectory. So what an amazing bit of history.
So what we plan on doing is creating an outer frame to match the level of the floorboards, recessed so there's glass can sit in there, then it's going to be underlit with like an LED strip light to shine light and highlight all the features what are within there.
We knew that there might be a fire pit underneath because we'd read in some of the literature that had been produced by the community of All Hallows and people associated with the community that there had been a fire pit underneath, that the novices had stocked up with coal and the sisters were up here eating, keeping warm. So we knew it was there, but we didn't know if we'd find it, what kind of condition it might be in, and there it is in really good condition. And I'm just really excited that we're going to be able to put a glass panel there and make that visible to anybody who visits the refectory. So, yeah, a bonus.
Extra cost?
A bit, yeah. There is a contingency that we'd woven into the application with Heritage Lottery Fund. So we're in discussions about how we might be able to use that, because I think this is a significant piece of heritage. And so that dialogue has been positive.
So what we're going to do, we're going to gently wire brush it down, take any surface rust off, bits and pieces, all the little bits and pieces of dirt on there, dust it off, then we'll apply this iron paste.
One of the aims of the project is for the companions to be involved as much as possible. A new arrival at Ditchingham, Lon, is helping with the restoration of the fire pit. He's no stranger to using a paintbrush.
Yeah, well, I've been in the painting and decorating game, or the building game as such, since I left school. Been doing it for about 15 years now, I reckon. And then fell on hard times, and then found the Emmaus community, and gave me a new lease of life. You know, somewhere to start again.
What do you think of the history? What do you think of the history of this place?
It's amazing. It's really interesting. I mean, like doing this underground heating system now, the engineering skill that went behind it all them years ago is just absolutely crazy.
Nice to be involved in it now?
Oh God, yeah. It's just nice to be a part of history and, you know, bringing something such as this back to life in the sense of restoration and, yeah, preserving a piece of history.
So by early March, there is good progress on the National Lottery Heritage funded project to restore the old refectory at Emmaus Norfolk and Waveney. The companions are on board, the public are intrigued, and the builders are on time and on budget. There is more, much more to find out and get done, but for now, everyone is cautiously optimistic.